In previous movies, we've touched on a side of project management that was more technical and process-driven. But soft skills, as you'll see in this movie, plays a very large role in effective project management. We've already mentioned that a project manager must be a well-rounded individual in regards to their skill set. We've likened project managers to business owners in that they must know enough about the various facets of the business or company. As you get deeper into the Pmbok guide, you'll understand why this is the case. We will touch on practically all that is encompassed by general management. For example, finance, purchasing and procurement, sales and marketing, legal, operations and administration, information technology, and health and safety. You'll notice a correlation between several of the general management areas and the 9 knowledge areas. I mentioned at the beginning of this movie that soft skills are critical to effective project management. If you are currently managing projects, think back on how the majority of your day was spent. It most likely included a great deal of contact with others, perhaps through follow-up, reporting, progress updates, collecting information, building relationships, etc. If this sounds like your day, then you most likely are not going to be too shocked to hear that 90% of a project manager's time is spent communicating. And this happens to be the first item on our list of interpersonal skills. Communication comes in various forms, could be verbal, written, even nonverbal. When we get to Pmbok Part 4, where we cover project communications management, you'll see this process in greater detail. Next on the list, you will see leadership and motivating skills. Imagine again the metaphor of a project manager being that of an orchestra leader, guiding and cueing the various sections and helping them move in unison to end harmoniously as practiced and planned. That takes leadership. And how do you get the players in the band to follow your lead? By developing things like loyalty, respect, and importantly, motivating them to play with solid and genuine efforts, as well as together as a team. Next, we have negotiation and conflict management skills. Even though a project manager's level of authority does vary according to the organizational type that they work in, they will always find themselves within negotiation. We spoke of managing stakeholders. This alone requires both negotiation and conflict management skills. You will also find the skill set necessary during times of acquiring resources. Many organizations find themselves short-handed and fighting for existing staff who are needed on multiple projects. In order to get around these situations, it will become necessary to think of creative ways and solutions to get people to perform on a positive level. There's really not much to say in regards to planning an organization. The type of work involved in project management is very centered around this. Not planning and/or being unorganized is a recipe for absolute disaster in terms of project management. Like communication, there just is no way around this one. It is absolutely critical. And we touched on the final one a bit when we discussed negotiation and conflict management. Problem solving requires a level of creativity, but it also requires planning and forethought. This skill is essential when being faced with the task of having to work with a cut budget, getting around time constraints, and losing project resources. Because even though you may experience some or all of these during a project, the expectations and project objectives will most likely stay the same. Therefore, it will be up to you to figure out a way to get back on track. I realize we spent a lot of time discussing interpersonal skills, something you may not have initially viewed as important. As a review, keep in mind that a project manager must know enough about the various facets of a business and that the majority of their time is spent communicating.